I'm Bobby.
I'm Nathan.
And if you're ready for it,
This could be a podcast. Hey, I think I'm giving up on Oz. I really am. I don't know. I think I got 6 episodes in again. And I'm like, oh golly, this is kind of a slog. Oh my gosh.
So it's answered the question. And I promised Cole today because he wasn't here.
He wasn't here last week.
That we wouldn't talk about Oz the entire time. But I'll wrap this with a bow, Cole. Okay, really quick, okay?
Please.
Because I thought from the moment of watching this show,
Yes.
I'm like, this is the missing link between the battle between The Wire and Sopranos. I can't say organically, or I can't say one way or another if I like the show or not, because I know how we stand. I like Sopranos. You like The Wire.
Yes.
I've tried to get into The Wire many times.
Yeah.
You've watched The Sopranos in totality.
I have forced myself to watch Sopranos in totality.
And not a fan or don't understand the hype, right?
No, it's just I see it's too many rough edges, and I think that it's a little bit too wayward, kind of meandering a little bit too much. I don't think it holds, and also I think I know you don't like this, like the whole idea, its initial premise of the whole gangster going to therapy. That's the whole thing. We don't need to litigate.
You like The Wire better than Sopranos?
Yeah, because it feels like a real TV show.
Sure. Okay. So when I started watching Oz, I was like, okay, this is the show. I don't know how I feel about it.
Sure.
But I feel that this is the missing link, that this is the thing that's going to separate or at least help decide the Wire versus Sopranos debate, which is a legit debate because all of those shows, and probably in the order that we've looked it up, I mean, Sopranos number 1, Wire number 2, and then Oz 3 on this list.
Sure.
But Oz is the one where it's like, if you keep going down this path and you like it, you probably like one of the Wire or Sopranos more than the other. But I don't know because I was on the fence about it so much.
For me, I do feel that Oz has a strong identity. I think Oz knows what it is and what it wants to do and what it wants to say. Mm-hmm. It has all those elements. But it's just something between, I think it might be too depressing for me, I was warning you about which is surprising for me because I really do enjoy things that just gnaw at the pit of my stomach. I think that that's interesting. I like having emotions thrust upon me. Especially when it's done from things like art, right? You know, art is making me feel something. That's pretty cool. I think that's a neat idea that someone, fabricated something whole cloth out of nothingness and it makes me feel something. For me, I think that's an interesting part of humanity, interesting thing about the arts.
But nothing good happens to anybody in Oz.
No, it's just like just people just getting shit kicked out of them over and over and over.
Or raped, or stabbed,
just it's not good, and everybody's an asshole. Nobody's coming out looking good.
Ernie Hudson's just answering phone calls, and
I don't want the goddamn feds down here. It's just like
that was a really good Ernie Hudson. That was a really good.
That's a big Twinkie.
Yeah, so it is because I think I'm now on season 4.
Okay,
so because I've kept pushing through. Look, am I actively engaged, and am I I can follow the storylines.
Yes.
I'm editing to it a lot. It's the show that's on, but I'm paying attention to what's going on.
Right.
I've really turned the corner with Dean Winters, Mr. Mayhem guy. He's doing a great job. Now I know how he got those Mayhem commercials because this guy's got talent.
He's got talent.
I always thought it was Rescue Me, but
Jesus.
I know how he got Rescue Me. It's funny too because so season 4 I think I'm on. Edie Falco from The Sopranos.
Yeah.
She's one of the, dare I say, main characters of at least the first season leading into the second season. She was a prominent figure in the show. And then you could tell when Sopranos started.
She just disappeared.
Yeah, because and it's great how they explain it away. She goes to London on vacation and then falls in love with one of the Buckingham Palace soldiers or guards.
This might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, especially in one of the 6 episodes I watched. Mm-hmm. She's like, "Why do you think I'm here? If the Ford plant or the Chevy plant, had a job for me, I'd be taking that."
Yeah. It might be one of the worst write-offs of a character ever.
What? She what? No, she's just going to marry old Lang. Like,
and they make the joke there, like the one
Jesus.
lady was like, she was talking with one of the Buckingham Palace guards, and then the guy that runs Oz, the white dude with the bald head, I forget his name, but he's like, I thought they couldn't talk, and she was like, well, they were on break, and it's like, oh man,
this might be.
this is the best idea we had.
This is what you ran with.
That's how we're gonna write off Edie Falco.
Tim McManus.
Tim McManus. There you go. That was called McManus.
I wish she just she threw a smoke bomb and said "ah," and then disappeared into the ether.
Well, there was a
That
riot at the
makes
end of
more sense.
She had to go get some gabagool.
I think it settles it, though. I think if you like The Sopranos, you will watch Oz longer. And if you like The Wire, you will stop watching Oz sooner. I mean, it's scientifically as we can get.
Yeah. Also, I would say it is a little bit harder. And I give, like, a lot of leeway, like, early day. Like, I'll watch something from the 80s. I'll watch some, and it doesn't bother me. Something about this time frame just feels like it's off. Like, the 4:3 nature of it. The intro has like a little like weird matte box 16:9. I'm like, oh, this just.
It's also one of the longest intros of a television show I've ever had.
Extremely long. It's extremely long.
There's even like a false ending in the song where you're like, oh, it's done.
No,
no, we're gonna do a whole nother 30 seconds here.
Oh God.
Well, I'm glad you watched it because I didn't expect you to watch the whole thing, but I did without telling you. I wanted to run this experiment.
Yeah.
I wanted to run this experiment because it has been such a heavily debated thing between the three of us.
I'm like, I just can't. I can't. I just don't.
Yeah.
There's just something that's just, it's too much.
There's a reason I've been talking about it so much is because it's been living with me. It's just been like,
it's a lot.
Oz is in my head. It's in my brain. Not that I want to watch it.
Also, that's part of it. I already mentioned it to you, but Cole, as part of our conversation, the parallels between Arrested Development and Oz. There's something there, right?
This is what we found out.
I think
Mitchell Horowitz
definitely took some with Tobias, obviously Tobias to be Tobias going into prison. Definitely took some.
Well, that's where we wonder though. That was our question: was whether
Dorothy
was it even premeditated to name Tobias because of the character from Oz Tobias?
I doubt it, but
and also,
but don't discount Mitchell Horowitz in his 4D chess that he can play.
One of the like main correctional officers is the guy that's missing an arm that always tells people to leave a note. You better leave a note.
In the first season.
And I'm like, oh, well, fuck. Now that's more of a layer to this.
But going back to that time and place for that time, and especially because we're talking pre-Sopranos and pre-The Wire.
Yeah.
It was a cultural cornerstone show for a lot of people. And especially in the time that Arrested Development came about, it was right there as like prime time. That like Oz when it was on in its peak by itself was the best television show.
It was the best television
regarded
show.
as or at least one of the best television shows for sure. So
that was it's 97 to whatever and then 2001 for Arrested Development, right?
Yeah,
it's something around that. Yeah. I mean, you're the guy that has a computer. You can look up stuff, but. If Mitchell Horowitz was on Cameo, we'd have this question asked and answered already.
Asked and answered.
Now the last thing I'll say about Oz, and then we can put it on the whiteboard, okay? Because we can reference it.
Okay.
But here for sure, like Oz, I believe, is the seer stone to show you the map, the layout, the landscape of the next 20, 25 years of television with actors for sure.
Yes.
Like this was a thing because Cole, you always have the joke like with your buddy that when you see a guy from The Wire, you say, "Oh, that guy was on The Wire," and it happens because there's a lot of people on The Wire
constantly. Yeah.
But before The Wire, it was Oz, and you can absolutely do it because there's multiple people from both The Sopranos and The Wire and every other fucking television show you've ever seen in your life on Oz.
I think it's interesting, and I noticed this as well, is that B.D. Wong plays a priest in Oz. He was also like another criminal psychologist on Law and Order as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is.
Well, you didn't even get to what was the what was the guy from Law and Order that one of the main guys, Law and Order.
Sam Watterson?
It was a Law and Order. Oh, Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Okay.
It was
SVU.
SVU. Christopher. Maloney.
Christopher Maloney.
Yeah,
Maloney.
He
was in. He did some Oz.
Yeah, you see his penis, solid schlong.
Oh yeah.
Because another thing is everyone that gets thrown in the hole, they're thrown in naked. So there's a lot of penis, and it seems like almost everyone has a dick shot. And again, these guys are operating with above average bats. You know.
I'm sure they keep the set nice and hot.
Nice and hot, yeah exactly.
It's not cold.
So if you ever want to see
Christopher
Maloney's penis, you can watch that episode of Oz.
Of Oz? Okay, yeah.
But again, there's like this, I'm sure like a Bill Belichick family tree, or like there's the Neil Young family tree. You know, they do it with like coaching in football.
Yeah.
They have the coaching family tree.
Yeah.
The family tree of Oz is it's just littered with people that have been on television for 20 plus years.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So
who's got more of a staying power? Was it Oz or was it The Wire? I'm pretty sure it wasn't The Sopranos.
Well, we don't need to do that. Okay?
No, it's fine. I'm not shitting on
I
don't need to shitting on The Sopranos. The Sopranos is fine. I do think it's interesting. I think that Oz probably did set up the idea that you can tackle tough, difficult, fairly unpleasant topics and do it in a good, serious way, and people will watch it. You don't have to dumb down. You don't have to soften up. You don't have to round over edges. You can do things pretty hard.
Can Cole, I'll give you a little homework here. Can you find what was this the premiere, like the first premiere television? Because this is the kind of they always say that The Wire and Sopranos on HBO specifically.
Yeah,
was there a show
beginning of
Prestige television? Was there a show that came before Oz that was HBO's like calling card for Prestige television, or even just what the exact exact dates of Prestige quote unquote television was? Because this is definitely sets it up. If it's not the first, it's one of the first.
It's one of the few.
But there is the
Sopranos is considered
the beginning of prestige of television.
Yeah.
So this is the precursor. Oz is okay. Sure, I believe that.
By the Peabody Awards.
Yeah. So
what do you mean? They determine what's prestige television?
You want to shit on
Sopranos
kind of
more? Basically called the golden age of television, which peak prestige TV. It was kind of more of a start, you know.
Yeah, this is the beginning. Yeah, you can say golden era. Why not?
Well, laid the groundwork, you know.
Yeah. Oh no, right. No, you're not.
Well, and again, I go back to HBO being the thing where people have to buy and add it on, and everything. Right. So you have to be driven to it to want to do it. And I think if you look at what The Sopranos did for HBO, it drove people to it.
Yeah,
it
certainly
definitely was one of those things people would give it a shot. Not to say The Wire didn't do that, but I think The Sopranos did that.
And then there's a different site that says Oz was the birthing of said genre. So
I don't like I said, you can go back and forth. Certainly, I would say The Sopranos was a little bit more accessible compared to Oz. I can see a lot of people.
I thought about prison less watching The Sopranos. I'll tell you that.
Getting turned off by neo-Nazis and prison rape and just people getting lit on fire.
Yeah,
stuff like that. I could see that.
The mafia was a little more tame.
Yeah.
That
says a lot.
It does, doesn't it?
That says a lot.
Well, I think that is one of the hard things to describe about to other people who haven't seen the show Oz, is that how uncomfortable it makes you feel. and again, I go back to my initial thing too, is like, who was tuning in on Sunday night before you had to get up on Monday morning and go to bed to watch an hour 15, at least a solid hour.
An hour
of this. Been like, all right, honey, now I'm gonna go to bed.
We're gonna watch Oz.
Might fool around later.
Let's see what happens in this episode. It's the interstitial stuff that I just can't do.
Yeah.
Like like I said, it knows who it is, it knows what it is, and what it wants to be and what it wants to say. But that doesn't mean like it feels like that clicks with me.
Well, and again, I was recently rewatching Snatch. It's been forever since I've seen Snatch. And again, it's one of those film school movies where when you're in film school, and Snatch came out in 99. Cole, I just assume you had
2000. It was after Fight Club.
Anyway, so it's one of those movies where you're like, if you want to give your 5 movies that you like or 3 movies that define you as a filmmaker, if you say snatch, we can be friends, kind of thing. It was one of those. But again, it's also another movie I've been terrified to rewatch lately because I'm like, well, maybe my 20-year-old self wasn't right,
Sure. Is it hold up?
It's the stylized nature of aspects of
Guy
it
Ritchie,
that don't really hold up. Or for me personally, that don't hold up. I mean, the story is still fine. Like, I didn't watch it all.
Early Jason Statham, did that do anything for you? I remember seeing it. I'm like, oh, Turk gets a cool name. He's kind of a cool bloke.
Well, I mean, there's like the stylized nature of Brad Pitt's like village and everything, and Gypsy.
Yeah, you like dogs?
Yeah,
you like dogs?
All that stuff.
Come down there. It's gonna look like a caravan down there.
Your Ernie Hudson's better.
It's been a while since I've watched.
But the stylized nature, though, is distracting, and I think it falls into that same time period where, again, I brought up Oliver Stone last time we were talking about Oz with this, where it's like it seems like that's kind of like they're taking these big interstitial swings, or taking these big swings with stylized segments of the show or the movie, where it's like you kind of had to be there. I don't know if it always holds up.
I don't know who is it there for. I don't know.
I think those people. I'm telling you.
I don't know. It's crazy. So I'm like, I'm kind of done with Oz. And then I was on Amazon Prime and I saw that Battlestar Galactica was there. So I'm like, I think I'd rather watch Battlestar Galactica.
Have you watched that show before?
Yeah, I watched it in its totality, whatever, 15 years ago or whatever it was. I'm like, I remember enjoying this quite a bit.
That's another show where I've heard great reviews. I've watched, I think maybe I might have gotten through the first season.
Yeah.
But again, you talk about things that are distracting. I mean, it's very the sci-fi, the special effects of it are not anywhere close to what would be considered quality.
I thought for 2004 basic cable, it looks still pretty good in 2024. Like, I'm like, oh, this is not, it could be a whole lot better today, but for 2004 basic cable, this is looking pretty good, actually. It's not bad. Spaceship stuff was pretty good.
How's Edward James Olmos in this?
He's pretty good. Hold on, I gotta smoke a cigarette real quick.
Just stick with Ernie Hudson, man. You got a good Ernie Hudson.
I don't have a good Ernie Hudson.
You have one good impression. It's Ernie Hudson. Then you have to tell people, no, the fourth Ghostbuster.
I can't take that on the road.
Yeah, neither can Ernie Hudson.
No, come on. He does like standards and stories. He just sings a couple of, does a little songs, does a little soft shoe, tells stories. It's good.
He's got a couple Ghostbuster stories. He's got a couple Oz stories no one wants to hear. So,
and then it's like 45 minutes of the Congo, just Congo for 45 minutes straight. Mm-hmm. When I saw the Grills for the first time,
see, that's wow. If you close your eyes, it's almost like you can. It's almost like Ernie Hudson's our co-host here of the podcast. Yeah, I kind of want that. We'll do a special guest Ernie Hudson co-host one day. Just all Ernie Hudson.
What's Ernie Hudson's cameo cost, by the way?
I don't think he needs it because he was on Oz, so prestige television.
I don't know.
I don't think Bill Murray can say that.
No, I don't. But
to your Battlestar Galactica point, it's so interesting. I know we have talked about it before on the podcast, but like
Galactica?
Not Battlestar Galactica, but like shows that like are so they're not time stamped like Battlestar Galactica has a good story, or at least it has to, like, without me having seen it all.
Yeah.
It has to have enough good story for it to last generation to generation because other generations are picking it up. But it is so time-stamped where if you didn't experience it in that time frame, or maybe you weren't 17 when you started to watch it, because 17-year-olds now can start to watch it, be like, captivated by it. Or if I'm trying to watch it now as a 38-year-old, like, I might have missed my boat. I might have missed my time to get into the show. Because do you remember how old you were when you first watched Battlestar Galactica?
No, I was probably in my late 20s, probably.
Yeah.
Whenever it got
within
added.
A window, whatever. And every show has a different window.
Yeah, it was after, I think probably it was almost done with its run when I picked it up.
Because that's the thing with like shows like Friends or The Office, like where they have these generational rebirths, whether it's the algorithms of whatever streaming service is so good and so tuned in, the kids will watch whatever they want, or are these 17-year-old girls like identifying with Friends in a way that only you can if you're a 17-year-old, and that's the only way that you can absorb the show.
Right.
Because what were they? Your Script Notes podcast dudes. I don't know. They were talking about something recently where there was a show.
Oh, it was like it wasn't Criminal Intent. It was Criminal Minds. It was Criminal Minds.
Yes, Criminal Minds.
That like a couple of summers ago, like a bunch of 17-year-old girls were talking about Criminal Minds for some reason.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's those little things like whatever the algorithm of social media is pushing you towards it, or do you have to be a 17-year-old girl to find Criminal Minds a good show?
I think it might be dumb enough.
Who knows?
I don't know. But having never watched.
But if you're a 30-year-old man, you shouldn't relate with 17-year-old girls in many ways.
I've got a problem. I've relate to.
You relate to a 17-year-old girl?
Yeah, my niece. We are
this took a turn.
We're really in sync as far as what we find humorous.
Mm-hmm.
We both have an affinity for Vines and just really loved Vine culture and still laugh about it. We are in sync in that way quite a bit. It's very interesting to the point where my wife's like I can't tell if she's like a 40-year-old man or if you're a 16-year-old girl. That's a real and it's not.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without having met her, you might be a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, or she could be a 40-year-old man. I don't know. Yeah. It could really go either way. It's really
we'll have
weird.
to figure out some Oz Wire Sopranos test to really figure this out.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have Cole lead the charge, so in case there's any charges.
Next time I see her, I'll ask her about Criminal Minds.
Excuse me, miss. Do you like The Wire?
Where be your nutcracker?
Oh, God, no. I got to walk off this. I'm done, guys.
That's what she said.
See, now the soundboard is just locked in.
Yeah.
You see, I'm finding everything right now.
Oh, jeez.
So Sex and the City came out in 1998.
Was that before or after The Wire? I mean, after Oz.
That was right after Oz.
Right after Oz?
So I would say it's like a loose time frame
Yeah.
of around 2000 is when, I think Oz and Sex and the City and Sopranos were all kind of the openers of the doors of what would have been the golden age of television.
Bro, there was 3 fucking seasons of Oz with Edie Falco on.
Band of Brothers came out in 2001. So.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that shit holds up.
But I'm saying, what is there a show, is in the list of HBO shows?
Yeah.
What is the first one that would be considered even in the realm? Because I know Mr. Show was on.
Was that on HBO?
But I love Mr. Show and Bob Odenkirk and David Cross, but it wasn't prestige television in the way that we know that.
No, that was
prestige
just
television.
for weirdos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Oz was the start of it.
Oz was the first show.
What was any show before Oz? Before 1997? I mean, what's her name? What's her name? She was where the Simpsons first started. Tracy
Ullman.
Tracy Ullman. Was that on HBO?
Yes.
Yeah,
sounds right.
but that was just a sketch show.
But it was a sketch show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, HBO was home box office, so it was a lot of movies before they got into the TV-ish game, like the TV game that we know them to be in now.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of just premiere television or premiere movies and everything.
Yeah.
So.
And then just a lot of garbage.
Oh, what? Okay.
I mean, just movies wise, really
well,
bad.
their movie, as far as streaming services goes, I mean, as far as streaming services goes, they're not, movie wise, they don't have a great selection. But I was asking because I have an answer, and so if you don't agree with me, then we're gonna debate about it. The worst streaming service that you have operated, like the one that frustrates you the most.
Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus?
Yeah, I've never used Paramount Plus.
It's like dial-up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's bad.
I'm trying to think here of one that's really just driven me nuts. I would say early days of Amazon, that was really frustrating before they really got it figured out because it was just hey, I'm subscribed. Why would you want me to buy this movie as well? It always felt like it was trying to sell me stuff as well.
Well, no, we're not.
And it'll look like garbage too.
Okay.
It looked like just Amazon. That's what early days of Prime. It was just I'm on just Amazon's shopping page for most of them. Let me think here. Oh gosh, I mean maybe Hulu. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something I've been happy, really disagreed with. It's been a while. I think they things have stepped up, but then again, I'm not Yeah, it's Amazon. Here's the deal. It's Amazon right now. That's 1,000% what it is, because I always have to sort by what I can buy versus what I'm already subscribed to with Amazon Prime. So I have to go like one layer deeper. No, don't show me what I can rent as far as, Dune 2's out for me to buy or rent on or whatever. Don't show me that.
But
I'm
it's
not going to watch that.
functionality, though, of functionality. I understand what you're saying.
I've got to go one layer deeper.
Because
and
I
that pisses me off.
understand what Cole's saying with like Paramount Plus. Like,
I haven't fucked around with
It
that.
lags.
You better not like double click down too fast, because it could like your TV will start smoking.
Oh yeah.
It's that bad. Peacock is another one that is
pretty bad.
Absolute dog shit. And it's because like what Netflix, I believe, is championed is that if you're hovering over something, it's going to start playing, the trailer or part of the movie or whatever,
or a clip,
which is the most annoying.
Yeah, you got to make sure that's muted.
Yeah,
yeah.
But God forbid they sit there in silence for 5 fucking seconds. But those streaming services like Paramount Plus or Peacock that have tried to adopt it but don't have the infrastructure,
and just sits there,
and it's like
cags.
If I'm trying to watch, because we have Peacock for $1.99 with ads, exactly, Black Friday deals. That's what you want to do, guys. You want to Black Friday deals. It's not Cyber Monday, but I think they do Black Friday deals. Whatever.
Yeah, it's Cyber Monday now.
But you'll get the deals on Black Friday for these things.
Okay.
That's what you got. I'm giving the listeners a tip here.
This is Bobby's Tech Tips.
Yeah. I can't even say it. You got to say it.
Bobby's Tech Tips.
Can you do it as Ernie Hudson?
Bobby's Tech Tips.
God, it's really good.
Spot on. I closed my eyes. I thought you were in the room.
This is
really good.
This is my calling. I didn't know. I had a good Ernie Hudson.
Thank God you started watching Oz. So we got that, but I have it for Parks and Rec, The Office, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, all that dumb shit that just can be on, and I'll watch fucking Jennifer Garner do a shitty League of Their Own Capital One commercial.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
That's not good.
But God forbid if you click one extra thing down and all of a sudden now you're just it'll destroy the system. It's horrible. No. It's a horrible streaming service.
Yeah.
And
here's the I'm not watching stuff on my television these days. I'm not sitting on my couch enough for that to happen.
I hate Peacock for the reason of if you're watching something on TV and you go and watch on your phone, all of a sudden it'll go back like 3 episodes.
Correct.
And then you have to rewatch ads to get back to where you were.
That's another functionality
that's
too,
a problem.
Where it does not translate. But that's where I give, like HBO when it started with their streaming service was horrible. It was a fucking horrible thing. Because we didn't have a TV at the time and we were only watching it on the old iPad. And we were watching Deadwood. Yeah. And man, if you'd almost have to like old school pause it, let it buffer, and then keep it going, because otherwise it would get really pixelated. But I think that's why they've been through 3 different iterations of a streaming service.
Right.
And now that's fine. Now it's good, but it's also limited actual.
Like early days of streaming on HBO, I got my coworkers login, and it was
what else is new,
right? I purchased HBO for I think a solid 2 years in my life. Anyhow, and it was like when new Game of Thrones came out, and it was just like it was like a start of a new season, and it was just like, nope, no one's watching this right now. This is you. Everybody and their mother is trying to watch Game of Thrones right now, and their servers are literally exploding because there's no way. Like,
and I think that's what it boils down to, though. Like it boils down to like that. The servers that they have don't have the infrastructure, and Netflix has probably the most incredible servers, to operate the way that they do, and even still they fuck up. I mean, we were watching some dumbass Pierce Brosnan Western yesterday,
Seraphim Falls. See, I watched it once, and I thought it was. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting.
It's kind of interesting. It's kind of a little too long.
It's a little bit. I believe that.
It's kind of like. Suspend your disbelief on how they catch up to him all the time. You know, whatever. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't a piece of shit.
It wasn't a piece of shit.
But it wasn't something I would ever recommend or watch. Or really, I was even like, do I bring it up even on the podcast? I don't even think it was that worthy. Until we're watching it about 40 minutes in, and then Netflix is like, and you're done. It just froze. It froze at a scene, and I told my wife, I'm like, and here comes the crash. And boom, every TV restarts, everything like that. And
oh, jeez.
And we had to go back, and it's like, because the infrastructure especially on like a Sunday night. I mean, can you imagine what the server room and Netflix on a Sunday night, any night really, has to be going bonkers and just so overheated with just people streaming anything.
That could be. I'd love to see like that data spikes when it comes to Netflix. I'd be curious about that. I'd like to see some information there. But
they're clearly like, they have to have the most state of the art.
Yeah.
Followed by Amazon Prime, and I'm sure.
Right. Just being able to spin up and down that much information's got to be pretty incredible. Right. See, I thought Seraphim Falls was all right. I thought it was like an interesting pairing between Pierce Brosnan and Liam Neeson.
I did think it was funny that you guys give Kevin Costner a bunch of shit for having an English having an American accent as Robin Hood, but two guys that fought in the Civil War, no problem being like Liam Neeson
British.
Just being Liam Neeson and Pierce Brosnan just being Pierce Brosnan.
See, that's,
that's
different.
Irish immigrant. Come on, that makes sense.
It totally
there was
makes
just
sense.
there was, I don't want to say like Kevin Costner didn't try at all, but I don't think it was.
He elongated a couple of his vowels.
I don't think it was very far off that Pierce Brosnan was I'm just gonna be Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, why not? I enjoyed that. Like, one thing I would say about that movie.
I really didn't want to talk about it.
I can't tell you. I watched it once. I actually rented it from a DVD from Netflix because I thought it looked kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I'd say, I enjoyed the transition from high up in the mountains, snowy, cold,
to hot.
And then it's once they get to the bottom, they're just hot and just like, I thought that was like an interesting transition of the movie.
No, the going from cold to hot was fine, but again, it's it was fine.
I saw it because it just got like I don't remember where was it on HBO or Netflix?
It was on Netflix.
Yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, I remember watching that and thinking it was okay. I don't feel like I need to revisit it as compared to some other films that are on the list right now.
No,
and I can't talk about them. Otherwise, somebody's gonna stab me, and that's a problem. And that, of course, is the best movie from 1999.
Cole, you have a game, don't you? Do you have it pulled up?
I do have a fun game.
Oh, I like games.
Oh,
and it's like, what
because
is
of the
normal?
implication.
What is normal in your life, in your house? So
what is normal
we
in my
started
life?
this with a conversation of, do you face or not face the shower head?
Oh, yeah. I face the shower head.
You face the shower head?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I am the exact opposite of that.
And actually, it's actually more on top. I got to work the hair a lot. The hair's got to get worked.
You have a lot of hair.
So it's got to get worked. That's
Do you wash your hair every time you take a shower?
Yes.
Wow.
That was one of the questions.
And I condition
did I steal?
Then I condition
that's
it.
good.
Do I get points if I steal?
Yeah. I condition it. And then I am now using leave-in conditioner in my hair as well. And that's made a surprising difference.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It's not that much, it's shampoo, then the conditioner, body wash, rinse out conditioner, turn shower off, put in leave-in conditioner.
And again,
have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Yes, I have. And I feel like the Edie Falco of this show in this regard.
You're the Edie Falco?
I like to think so.
Oh.
You're the Edie Falco of this podcast?
Then I come on late, and eventually I'll just disappear. And
No, she came. She was there from the beginning, and then she left early.
Okay, I really got to watch the show. But anyways, moving on from
I don't know.
Solid analogy.
I don't know if you should watch the show, Nicole.
That was my warning the entire time.
Do you wet in your toothbrush?
Yes.
Well, hold on. By the way,
Before or after you put the toothpaste on?
Before. You wet the toothbrush, and then you put the toothpaste on.
I got to answer the shower question first.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So again, let everyone answer.
Okay, my bad.
I do both. It depends on if I'm washing my hair. That's why it's the question.
Yeah.
If I'm not washing my hair, I'm back to the shower.
Yeah.
All right. If I'm washing my hair, I go.
Wait, so you turn around to wash your hair?
Yeah.
No, see, I don't do that either. I'm
back
to the shower.
The shower.
The entire
like
time.
the shower commercial. I can't do it without getting away from the mic. But
Oh, jeez.
so
Jesus, Cole.
never really faced the shower head. Yeah.
now we know.
Do you not like just things splashing in your face, or
just always the way I did it. It's kind of one of those things.
Okay.
This is the work of a lunatic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I wonder is like, have
I
been the weird one? Have I been doing this wrong my entire life? That's kind of the basis of this game.
This is a game for the listeners too, though. If you disagree, agree, whatever, let us know.
Leave your reply in the comments, please.
If anything, we're a scientific podcast, and we're gonna get to the answers of all these. We figured out The Wire, Sopranos, and Oz, and that took a while. And we got
way too long. It was a lot of research.
We got no government grants for it. Fauci helped us out with nothing.
I'm kind of surprised.
I'm a little surprised.
He's a big J.K. Simmons fan.
He's
huge
because of the Nazi. What?
So toothpaste, and I found that a lot of people wet the toothbrush, put the toothpaste on, and then put water under it again.
Oh, not again! I don't want to water down the toothpaste. Otherwise, it's going to lose all of its potency.
This is the work of a lunatic.
It's going to water it down too much.
You think the water coming out of your tap is going to destroy the potency of your toothpaste?
I said that for comedic effect. I don't want it to wash away the toothpaste that's on the toothbrush. Then I'm just washing toothpaste down the drain before it goes in my mouth.
What's the velocity of this water you're talking about?
Then I got to be careful about how much
power spraying your toothbrush.
Are you like Richard Carney?
What am I going to just sit there and like gently open my tap to get just?
What is the water pressure in your house?
I've got good water pressure in my basement.
Basement.
My faucet's right above the water main, so it's not.
So there's a more than likely chance that if you go full power with your water faucet, you can knock the toothpaste off of your toothbrush.
I have to be mindful of how I open the faucet.
Wow. Okay.
I have to sit there and crack it, and I've got like a lever.
Cole and I are going to go over to your house tonight and brush our teeth.
Brush your teeth.
Yeah, just to.
You're going to end up like taking all the toothpaste off your toothbrush, and you're going to be like, "Oh fuck! Now I got to put more toothpaste on my toothbrush."
I somehow died. And
Cole, what do you do?
I do both.
You do wet, put it, and then put the toothpaste on,
and then wet it again.
Yeah, it's kind of like washing a car. You want to get a little bit of foamy action going in your mouth. And
Nathan and I have never washed cars, so
I don't.
I clean the toothbrush and then get a little water on it to accelerate the toothpaste.
Yeah. So here's
my water pressure is apparently not that good though. So
mine's not either.
I totally agree. Having taken a shower at your place, it's not great.
That's not great.
It's not great.
Why did you shower at my place again?
Because my bathroom was fucked up.
Hey, you showered at my place too.
Yeah, I used both.
I thought you just snuck in one night and just I got to check out this water pressure, see what it's all about.
I was like, I need to take
this
a shower.
This asshole faces or turns his back against this. God damn.
It makes sense for you because it's just like a little gentle pitter patter on the back of on your back. As compared to just getting blasted. But I need that. I need to get blasted because my hair is so thick and luscious.
That's true.
Okay.
And the Edie Falco thing was I couldn't tell if you guys.
Now he's bringing up Oz.
This has been a dispute for you guys for a long time.
Okay.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Well, he's
got to answer the question.
I did not answer the question.
I don't care about you.
Respect.
I'm on with the soundboard tonight. Okay, this is pretty good. Okay, I have a dry toothbrush. I put the toothpaste on it, and then I wet the toothpaste.
Yeah,
three different answers.
That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk.
Why?
Because
here's the sidebar follow up.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have an electronic toothbrush or a manual?
I've got electronic.
I got both.
Yeah.
Yep. What do you use?
Which one
both?
are you using?
I use both.
Using both at the same time?
No, not
Jesus
at the same
Christ,
time.
Cole.
Again,
This is the work of a lunatic.
what are we talking about? What's?
I feel like you get a different level of cleanness for each of them. Like it's
Hold on. So you're doing full electric, and then you're doing some spot work with the manual?
It's like if I'm like in a hurry and I need to brush my teeth quick, I use the manual. Like
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like go the full allotted time of your electric toothbrush, right?
It's just easier sometimes. I just
Another
have
question.
both, and plus it makes the toothbrush last longer.
Fair point. Another question. What do you think gives you the better cleaning? Is it the electric toothbrush?
For sure, yeah.
See, because there's something in the back of my conspiratorial mind. I feel I can do a better job with the manual.
And I think there's a little bit of that too. I feel like if I focus, catching some areas I'm missing by doing both. And
yeah. Like I feel like to what you were saying, Nathan, is that people let that like little timer thing go, and it's like, oh, I've done enough, and they just trust that they've done enough when they haven't really done enough. And you got to really look at your teeth when you're doing this stuff. So
does your toothbrush have a timer in it?
It's loose, but yeah. I mean, it's like a loose, like it goes like, and then you're supposed to move on, quote unquote.
Yeah, like mine buzzes at me every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I
think a lot of people use that as like, that's the truth. Like that's what you're supposed to do. And what I'm saying with Cole though is that if you get that old manual stuff and you get into your gums and you just start to,
it's a different kind of clean. Yeah,
it's a different clean.
I'm going like in a specific manner here. I mean, like
he seems
really
worried
thinking about this through. Where I'm like, I'm working.
He seems worried.
Yeah, I'm working on I'm working on my inside here. I'm working on my going quadrant by quadrant.
I'm not accusing
you.
For every
I'm just
30
saying
seconds. That people, when they get an electronic toothbrush, they think that that's the superior clean because the toothbrush tells them that they've done enough.
Yeah,
and that's a little Pavlov's dog, a little bit, where it's just like, just because it beeps at you, buzzes at you, doesn't mean you've done enough. Like sometimes you need to do more.
You can hit those. You can hit those spots again.
We're not even getting to flossing. Let's go on to the next
one.
My gosh. We won't even get into it. Okay. You guys should do it multiple times a week.
Okay.
I mean, I brush my teeth once a week, so.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, shit. You caught me off guard.
Wow. Is hot dog a sandwich? You see it on sandwich sections of menus all the time.
I am deferring to the experts here, and that is the National Hot Dog Council. And their final answer has been...
They say it can puncture the skin of a rhino from 100...
Ow! A hot dog is its own thing, man. It's
where be your nutcracker?
Not necessarily a sandwich. It's its own special category. And I respect that.
I'm going to veto this and say you can do better. People have talked about this before. We can move on.
Already?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't even ask the follow-up ketchup question?
You can ask the follow-up ketchup question.
Well,
sure.
Is ketchup okay on a hot dog?
Yeah,
sure.
1,000%.
That's way better of a question. Okay.
1,000%.
Okay.
The elitist Chicagoans who feel like you have to do it their way or nothing at all. Yeah. That's horseshit.
Yeah. This is America. This is the land of the free.
Right.
Home of the brave.
Optimal hot dog for me. Ketchup.
I got one.
Thinner mustard line. And then diced onions, and then that's my optimal hot dog.
Okay,
and you can put that on the record.
Was that your fridge question?
So my fridge question was...
Cole had a fridge question.
Oh.
Do either of you put your bread in the fridge?
Nope.
I do because I buy frozen bread. So
you buy frozen bread?
Walk me through this, Bobby.
Well, there's a low carb bread called Sola, and this episode's brought to you by Sola. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this podcast. It's a low net carb bread, but it's sold in the frozen organic food aisle. So we buy that, but instead of keeping that in the freezer, because that's just longer de-thaw time. Yeah. If you keep it in the refrigerator, it stays cool. It thaws out, but it remains, cool and everything. But if you leave it just out in the wild,
it's just gone.
It's going to go bad real quick.
Turns
it's going
into
to be
mush.
You know what? I've actually never left it out on the counter.
Yeah.
Because it's frozen.
For science, you might want to let.
For science, I'll do it. Yeah. For the podcast, this is a scientific podcast.
Some kind of mutated ravioli that runs off.
So we do have bread in our refrigerator.
And I keep regular bread in my refrigerator.
Yeah.
And that shit's fine. Like, I still have a loaf of bread from 96, back when Oz started. I have that, and it's fine. It's still white.
And this was one that never, crossed my mind until I saw it for the first time, is ketchup. In the refrigerator or out of the refrigerator?
We keep it in the refrigerator. I feel like it's probably unnecessary, but... It's
restaurants.
They just leave that shit out.
They leave that shit out,
But are they just going through it? Are they burning through ketchup faster than
me?
I'm
sure they are, yeah.
Well, we used to do at the restaurants I will not name, but there was multiple, and they all do this. So everyone that's ever been to a restaurant and squeeze ketchup onto anything, and some Mexican restaurants, they do what's called marrying the ketchup. So at the end of the night, they will take the half-empty or almost empty ketchups, and they will fill them into other bottles to create a full bottle of ketchup.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure the FDA and the health board has a big problem with this. And when you just leave those things out in the open, quote unquote, for days or weeks at a time, something could happen. But,
I don't know. I feel like your local health authorities are pretty lax when it comes to condiments.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. So I like that, just to know that any bottle of ketchup, anything that you're squeezing onto your burger
could have touched tips with a lot of other burgers.
And it could be generations old. This is like the generation stew, or what do they call it?
Yeah, just like
it's our version.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, there's the same bottle of ketchup that's been there, especially if it's fancy tomato ketchup.
Yeah,
like a diner. There's a solid chance that ketchup is just as old as the show Oz.
Yeah. So I've got a question for you then. Okay, so Made Right, the restaurant sandwich company that features loose meat sandwiches in our region. There was an older version of that restaurant. I want to say it was in Marshalltown, maybe Ottumwa. I can't remember. And they were kind of that just adding more raw meat to the pot.
To the pot, yeah.
Just, okay, we're getting a little bit low. All right, add another 5 pounds, throw in the seasoning, mix it in, cook it up.
Yeah.
At no point switching out pots. And that's where the health organization said, no, don't do that. That could be really bad.
Well, that's the thing, like with a cast iron pan, and again, it's a delicate dance that you have to walk, but you can theoretically do that. Like you can theoretically just cook one thing, take it out of that vessel, leave it,
and just keep cooking.
and just keep cooking in it.
Yeah.
And then it's seasoned in not the like oiled way of seasoned, but like seasoned also with the flavors of other things you've cooked. And then it's a really good pan. I mean, there's a local establishment in town that has a burger that everyone flocks to.
Yeah.
And they always say it's because of
they've never cleaned it.
They've never cleaned
it.
The burger making thing.
That was the pizza place in my hometown. Was a disgusting pizza oven, but God, the pizza was good.
Yeah, so why you want to touch this?
The amount of times that this, once again, not sponsored, Happy Joe's clean. You can tell they cleaned their oven. Like this is not hitting nearly as good. Because you can tell they cleaned their oven last week.
That's why I said it's a delicate dance. It's a delicate dance.
The Made Right started in Muscatine, Iowa.
Muscatine.
But was sold to people in Newton and Marshalltown.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful Muscatine, Iowa.
Here's one that I had for you. I experienced this in the wild.
Okay.
So when you go to the bathroom, and you can, I'll give a qualifier where it's public bathroom or private bathroom. But when you go to the bathroom, do you let out or have you ever let out an audible?
Oh, I'm sure. Like, if I've been drinking, like, I could definitely see myself involuntarily sighing,
100%, and it makes me laugh every time. Like, I'll be very boisterous. I'll be like, oh, yeah, oh, God.
That's the stuff?
Yeah. If I really have to pee and I'm, like, struggling to get into my house and then...
But again, that's
finally
private.
Get there.
That's private, though, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I had the distinction.
But in public.
In public, no. Like, I just do it and laugh to myself, which I'm a child, so...
Yeah.
Because private, because I can't say I've never done it. I'm sure I've done it.
Right.
But I know I've never done it in public. I know I've never done it in public.
Not consciously.
Because I was at the bar the other night or the other day. It wasn't
the other
even
day.
Night. And I was by myself.
Yeah.
And I was taking a piss by myself.
Yeah.
Guy walks in next to me, starts taking a piss. I'm done. I got to wash my hands. And he just is like,
oh yeah.
And it was like,
oh, geez.
It was a little sexual.
Yeah.
It was a little sexual. I was like, is this what? Oh.
That's the sound of relief, Bob.
I'm sorry. Let's have a little more self-awareness, people. Okay? Because that's even going to be uncomfortable to listen.
That's happened to me a bunch of times, for sure. And I laugh, too. And the guy will acknowledge my laughter.
Yeah. If you're doing it as a bit, that's fine.
I think it usually is a bit for the most part.
Again, but I've been watching too much Oz for there to be any kind of toilet shenanigans
here's the
going
deal.
on.
For the most part, when I'm in the bathroom, I don't want to, I don't exist. I'm in a different plane of existence.
Yep. We don't know each other.
We don't know each other. I do not want to hold a conversation with you while I'm holding my penis. Like, that's kind of a...
Joke's on you. Been holding mine the entire time.
You didn't use a lot of Tross as a kid then, did you?
I did, but I don't like it. The amount of people are like, oh, hey, what's going on? I'm like...
The bathroom is not a conversation starter.
This is not a time for us to have this conversation. Yeah. I don't want to have this conversation right now. I want to not exist. I want to stare at nothing. Quite frankly, in high school, I would draw cartoons of just random shit, stick figures.
That's weird to me.
And then I would put it in front of urinals, so you had something to look at. So I'm not staring at like paint 6 inches from your face.
And that's where I do appreciate the places that still have like a piece of newspaper.
Yes. Yeah.
Because again, even pulling out my phone and at a urinal, and I'm like, here I'm scrolling through my phone. I don't want my phone to fucking fall in the urinal. I don't want to even like go through this.
How do you feel about TVs right in front of the urinal?
Love it.
I'll allow it.
Little ESPN going on right in your face.
Any kind of thing that's screen time. That's when I think when we should go into our world of ignoring everybody else around. Because there's so many times in a public setting where everyone's on their phone and they're off in their own little worlds. But then as soon as we get into our fucking bathroom, and all of a sudden now it's time to chit chat about what the fuck's going on. It's like
can you believe this?
It just gives you a direct thing to look directly at.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You just like put porn on the just like whatever.
We've seen that a couple
good poster,
of times.
Yeah.
We've seen that
exactly. Yeah, good poster can get the job done. Just distract the idiots.
Something,
please.
Yeah.
Because if you leave nothing, then the person's gonna be like, I can't believe what blah blah blah. Not the time. I don't want to have this conversation.
And this is a good segue to my next question.
Uh-oh.
And this has torn my family apart.
Family.
Ruined Easters, Christmases, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Toilet paper over or under?
Toilet paper over or under? What do you mean?
How it falls. Is it bangs or is it a mullet?
Like the roll itself, like on the thing? It's however I put it on, and then I'm going to live with that.
Yeah.
And that's been my kind of,
Now, is this a men's thing, or because like I am?
Look,
I've given up on this fight as far as
through my research. Apparently, people are pissed off about this to this day. So
no,
look, if I was a single bachelor man myself, you're lucky it's on the roll in the first place. Honestly,
it's just
sitting there.
Yeah,
that's just there.
It's fine. Well,
the FDA says you're supposed to go over because if it's close to a wall, you can get contaminated.
Well, what do they know?
Yeah,
Dr. Fauci said it himself.
They say high fructose corn syrup's good for you.
I'm an overman.
Wow, it's a really good Fauci.
Is that a good Fauci? Is that better than mine?
No. We got a Fauci and Ernie Hudson. I'll work on mine. I don't know what I have, but we got a Fauci and Hudson here.
Okay, last one, and then we'll wrap this up.
Horrible
law firm.
Team.
No, Fauci, Hudson, and somebody else. We'll figure it out.
Sean
Connery. No, it's not that.
And
jeez.
I think this is absolutely insane, but apparently there's a world of people that do this.
Okay.
Bobby does it.
Do you put Do you put on your sock and then shoe to that sock, or do you put on both socks?
No, both socks.
Both socks, right?
Yeah, both socks. Yeah.
Apparently, there's a world of people that do that, which I find just insane.
That means your shoes have to be right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
well, if you
I'm
know
not that
me
kind
at
of
all,
shoe guy.
If you know me at all, Cole, I am adverse to socks in general.
He does not like socks, people.
I'm
right.
No, I'm pissed off already. I had to put socks on. So.
He's trying to live his best Jimmy Buffett lifestyle.
Always trying to live the best Jimmy Buffett lifestyle.
Oh no.
R.I.P. Jimmy.
Just because people
love
don't
you.
like my homemade tequila that I make, that doesn't taste good, quote unquote.
Tastes like watered down paint thinner.
Exactly. Apparently, you're not supposed to put paint remover into your tequila, but whatever.
Yeah, don't tell me what to do, Fauci.
Yeah, FDA.
Yeah.
We're like fucking dumbasses.
I can't do it anymore.
It's gone. It was just in a moment.
It smells like urine. No, see, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Oh,
yeah.
I lost it.
I lost it.
I was in the moment.
I gotta come up with a catchphrase for Fauci.
Can you?
Yeah, you gotta get into. You gotta find your one thing to get into it.
Can you toss me an Ernie Hudson real quick?
I was in the movie Congo.
See, he's got it.
Jesus, just good.
That was right there. You gotta figure yours out.
Yeah, I gotta get that figured out.
That goes into
quite a bit.
That's one of those crazy questions too, of like, do you put the cereal in before the milk, or the milk in before the cereal? That kind of thing.
Yeah, cereal
before
milk.
Everyone does the other thing. Everyone else is lying. So,
what do you mean?
I mean, there are crazy people. So,
who pour the milk and then do the cereal?
Yeah,
yeah. Those are few and far between.
Yeah.
The majority of America's sociopaths do that.
Yes, Ted Bundy was totally doing that.
You had a good one that you haven't said yet, and I'm gonna snipe you.
Jump it.
When you put on a belt, do you go right to left, or you go left to right?
it would be counterclockwise around my waist because the buckle is on the...
You're talking to two dumbasses. Right to left or left to right, buddy?
So that'd be it'd be to my left.
You're you're inserting the loop left of you.
Yes.
So I'm inserting...
but you're left-handed.
Me too.
So it makes sense that you're going right.
We're a scientific podcast now. Okay, we're trying to figure out the scientific nature of this, and you're
both left-handed.
Until Cole asked the question, I had no idea anyone else did it differently.
So apparently, that's the way females are supposed to wear belts. Is the opposite, like the same way a button on a jacket
same with
is.
The jacket.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Which I was not aware of either until a few years ago. So.
They have more bedazzled belt
You didn't know
buckles.
that, like women's shirts were backwards?
No, I knew that. I didn't know the belt thing.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't either, but they have more bedazzled belt buckles than men do.
Well, Cole's got a fair share of bedazzled belt buckles.
Yeah, they look good on me. What do you mean to say? Yeah.
That's exactly what I
like to accentuate my, crotchal regions with a bedazzled belt.
If I can draw attention to my crotch, bedazzled or otherwise, I'm here for it. Everybody knows this about me.
I typically, tuck in my shirt and then just have a little bit of the shirt come out of my zipper just to
just a little sneaky.
Bring attention down there,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, totally. I get that. Mm-hmm. I would never do that because I'm sane, I think.
An adult.
That's debatable. It's either that or I'm a 16-year-old girl.
You just did an impression of Ernie Hudson from Congo like 2 seconds ago, so
that's what men do. That's what men do. They talk about the movie Congo, which I don't think I've really truly seen.
They fight bears and do impressions of Ernie Hudson. That's what men do.
But in Congo, they fight gorillas. Is that what you meant?
No, I just meant you being
I can totally fight a bear. Yeah. That makes... You guys want to talk about the movie The Edge? Jesus.
Nope. At the end of the day, this could be a podcast.
Oh, this could be a podcast?
Sure could.
That does not sound like Ernie Hudson at all.
Okay.
Hey, everyone, and Ernie Hudson out there. Thank you guys so much for listening, and thanks for being on the show, Ernie. I really appreciate it. If you guys could let us know, answer the questions that we did. Let's really get some scientific research on this. Let's figure it out.
Yes.
Because it took us months to figure out whether The Sopranos was better than The Wire, and turns out I was right, and The Sopranos is. So we can get to the bottom of which direction people stand in the shower and stuff.
If anybody knows Ernie Hudson, if you can ask him about how he puts toothpaste on his toothbrush, it's going to be able to help me figure out my voice acting a lot better.